everybody, welcome to a video that is very different actually for me, but I am obsessed with these and I thought, you know what, even if nobody wants to watch this, I want to film this. You've probably gathered from the thumbnail and the title why I'm sat at this dodgy angle with this huge white wall right next to me. Also, do excuse the sun. No matter which way I close the blind, like there's those lights on the wall. Those lights, that is the sun, Molly. Anyway, if you haven't gathered from the title, I am going to be ranking every single thing that I watched in 2021. I like to share recommendations with you guys, and these are some of the best videos for getting TV and film recommendations. In my opinion, it's how I found a lot of TV series. Also, huge shout out to my friend Sophie Foster, who I think has filmed this video or is filming this video. I sort of got the idea from her, but I do also watch a lot of these, but check out her channel. You guys know I love her. Right, I'm gonna shuffle. I've made my own tier system, the kind for films, not the kind for the pandemic. Basically, I went through my Netflix watch history, my Amazon Prime watch history, Disney Plus, Sky, BBC, ITV, and then also I went through a list of everything that came out in the cinema and tried to remember just how many times I'd gone to the cinema last year, which actually was quite a lot considering I don't think cinemas opened until like June. My laptop's just gonna overheat again. I don't know what's going on with it, but if you hear a hissing in the background, just know that it's the laptop. You can see that I have here my tier system. I've gone for 5 categories. At the top we have 10 out of 10, yes, queen shit, because that is the top tier. As in, recommend to everybody I know, didn't shut up about it, made it part of my personality kind of thing. The next one down is would recommend to a friend. Middle is could take it or leave it. The fourth, and you've got to sing this one, is I forgot that you existed. And the bottom one is it's not the vibe. It's not the vibe. So I feel like, you know, we can rank things within these categories. I am going to open up my little folder because I've put everything in one folder that I've watched this year, which was quite hard, took a while. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm talking TV shows, films, documentaries. I've gone for like as much as I can remember watching. I don't doubt there's some things I've missed off. Oh, okay, random one to start with. This is Finding Alice. This was an ITV drama. I'm not gonna lie, I watch a lot of like ITV, BBC dramas. You know, I love a crime, that kind of thing. I didn't love this. I'm gonna put it in I Forgot That You Existed because I don't remember the plot. So we're shrinking it right down and we're putting it in I Forgot That You Existed. Oh, I feel mean. Second one, Unforgotten. This is another ITV. Okay, is this just gonna be a load of ITV stuff? This is series 4 of Unforgotten. I love this as a show, but I think that this is probably the worst series, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna put it in would recommend to a friend because I banged on about the programme, but I just don't think that series 4 was its strongest. But I did like it, I do love it. It's one of the best detective dramas on telly. Next one, what's this? Oh, this is a film. The Kissing Booth. This storyline has just been done over and over again. It's like a girl picks between 2 guys. To be honest, I actually don't really remember the storyline of this one specifically. Yeah, I think maybe if I was 14 I would really be behind that as a trend, but I'm gonna put it alongside Finding Alice. I Forgot That You Existed. Such a random order, guys. There's no rhyme or reason. Black Widow starring Scarlett Johansson. I watched this as part of a brand deal with Disney. I liked it. Not my favourite film, but as Marvel films go, probably up there with one of my favourites. So yeah, I'd recommend to a friend. It wasn't top tier, but I do love Scarlett Johansson and it made a lot of sense as a Marvel film, and some of them are very confusing. So this one, what is this? I have no idea. Crime Scene, The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. Oh, this was on Netflix. Literally everybody was talking about this when this came out. I actually already knew the story. I'd listened to Ellen and Neil speak about it. It was dark. Would recommend to a friend. Better Call Saul. I watched all of the series of this year because Tom wanted to, because we'd finished Breaking Bad. It's not my genre. I'm gonna put it in could take it or leave it. I watched it because Tom and I were watching it, but I would never have picked to watch that on my own, if you know what I mean. It's not as good as Breaking Bad, I don't think. Sex Education Series 3, right, that is going in 10 out of 10 queen shizzle because it is a cultural moment. It covers every single topic under the sun. I have learnt more from that show than school taught me, or like would have taught me. Obviously I am a little bit older now, so you know, what am I trying to say? You know what I mean. Very good at having conversations. The casting is absolutely spot on. The storylines are spot on. Gillian Anderson is a 10 out of 10 chef's kiss actress. Yeah, I love it. I think that it is probably, this is a bold statement, one of the best series that Netflix has ever produced. Riverdale season 6. Right, I haven't watched all of this. I watched a few standalone episodes. It is not the vibe. Like, it's not the vibe. I'm sorry. I like the actors in it. I think, like, what are they doing? They need to get out of that contract with Netflix because it is tarnishing their careers. Like, it's so bad that it's funny. And I watched the episodes out of this season from a comedic point of view. Like, I actually was watching it and thinking, this isn't meant to be funny, but like, it just is funny. So yeah, it's not the vibe. It's not the vibe. Oh, okay, we've shifted tones from Riverdale. This is quite an old film, I think. I watched this with Tom. It's about the war, Daniel Craig. I could take or leave it. I didn't love it. It was very long. I don't really know why we watched it. It's not our usual genre of film, but it was okay. It was educational. Oh, don't know. Billie Eilish, The World's a Little Blurry documentary that was on Apple. I love Billie Eilish. I love her music. I think she's, you know, changing the game. However, I didn't love the documentary. I don't really remember that much of it. Do I want to put it in I Forgot That You Existed? That's really mean. I'm a big Billie Eilish fan, but I just don't think that I could take or leave it. I haven't rushed to watch it again. Do you know what I mean? That tea is stone cold. My New York Year. Right, this is like a small time film. This did not get any hype, any promo. I went to see this with my friend Rachel the day that the cinemas reopened because like we were just so desperate to go to the cinema that we were like, let's go and see any film. I love the actress Margaret Qualley, I think you say her name like that. Yeah, I love Margaret Qualley for her role in Maid, and I'll talk about that later, but this film was just not it. Like, it's not the vibe. It's not the vibe. Ooh, that's an insult, putting it on par with Riverdale. I'll move it. I'll move it up to I Forgot That You Existed because I low-key did forget that it existed. The Bay. The Bay was on ITV, and I'm gonna put it in I Forgot That You Existed because I could not tell you one thing that happened in that series. And to be honest, that's probably more my fault than it is ITV's fault or like the show's fault. I was probably like on my phone whilst I watched that. Oh. Line of Duty. This feels forever ago. Line of Duty finished last January and I hadn't watched it until that point, and then series 6 was last January and everybody was talking about it. So Tom and I decided to watch it from the beginning. Top bloody tier. Like, yeah, 10 out of 10. It is the best police detective drama I have ever seen, and I have watched a lot. The story writing is great. The ending of series 6 brings it down slightly. A lot of people didn't love the ending. However, it doesn't take away from the fact that as a series as a whole, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. The Sinner? I don't really remember this. I watch a lot of things that overlap into the same genre. I think it had that guy in it that's like quite attractive. Can't remember his name. Quiffy hair. Take or leave. I don't really remember, but I don't think it was bad. Spencer. You guys know I loved The Crown. I watched The Crown in 2020, so I can't include it in this list. But I really am interested in the royal family. I think the story of Princess Diana is really interesting, really sad, to be honest. I thought Spencer was going to be more than what it was. Kristen Stewart did like an incredible job, and I think she's nominated for like a load of Oscars for her performance and for her portrayal of Princess Diana, and to be fair, she deserves that. The film, yeah, it was weird. It addressed the whole thing very odd. It was odd storytelling. It didn't really go anywhere. Like, I'm gonna go and take or leave. Kristen Stewart did a great job. She's a great actress. I thought it was gonna be weird that they cast an American as somebody that's so British, but like, it wasn't. She did a good accent. Clickbait. Netflix original, really mind messy. Is there not a better adjective for that, Molly? Every single episode, I suspected somebody different. Every single episode, I had no idea where the show was going. I really liked it. It was good. I'm not going to put it in 10 out of 10 because it wasn't on my list of like, oh my god, but it was good. West Side Story. Okay, so I went to see this like the week before Christmas. This film is let down because it has Ansel Elgort in it and we don't stan. That takes away from it for me, to be honest. However, let's put him aside. I can't remember her name. I think she's called Rachel somebody. Incredible actress. For me, the film was just a bit long. I could take or leave. I don't think I'd rush back to it, but it wasn't bad. Right, you might think this is a weird addition, but until this year, guys, I'd never seen The Muppets Christmas Carol. Can you believe that? Can you believe it? Me and my friend Rachel, again, went to the cinema to watch any of the like re-showings of old Christmas films. Rach picked this. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen that. I really liked it. I think it's iconic. I think it's wholesome. I think it's warm. I would recommend it to a friend, although I'm sure that most of my friends don't need it recommending because they've probably already seen it. Des. Yeah, I don't fully remember this. I watched so much true crime that this one's gone slightly out of my head. David Tennant did an incredible job portraying him. I mean, David Tennant's a great actor. I don't always love him. Like, he plays very, very arrogant roles quite a lot. Could take or leave again because I don't fully remember it. Oh no, guys, we're running out of space. Sleepless in Seattle. Again, can you believe I hadn't seen that until this year? 10 out of 10, yes. I loved it. I was watching it and I was thinking, I can't believe I've never seen this film. So yeah, top tier. I think Tom Hanks, I mean, it's always going to be top tier, isn't it? The Larkins on ITV. This was like a reboot of the original series. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my usual cup of tea. So I'm gonna put it in I Forgot That You Existed, I think. I mean, I love Bradley Walsh. The Bold Type, oh my gosh. I loved this. It was cheesy, it was shallow, it was corny, it tried to address some serious themes and it didn't always do it very well, but it was fun. It was like really girl power. It was such a focus on female friendship. The story writing in places was really good, and I watched all 4 seasons in about 2 weeks. So I'm putting it in the top because I really thoroughly liked it. If you like Gossip Girl but you want like a modern girl power, girl boss friendship in Manhattan, this is the one for you. I think any series or film that's set in New York is already higher on a playing field for me. I don't know what it is. Oh yeah, Behind the Attraction on Disney Plus. This was a documentary about the behind the scenes of some of Disney World's most famous rides. Really neat. You know I love Disney. I am the biggest Disney World fan in kind of an unconventional way. Like, I'm not a, oh, let me wear Mickey Mouse on all the clothes I own and like, you know, that kind of Disney fan, but like just the Disney parks just hold like a special place in my heart. We grew up with Disney. This show for some reason made me really emotional. I really liked it. I think that in an alternate reality I would love to work at Disney, so I'm gonna put it in would recommend to a friend. Squid Game. Revolutionary. It was like the first Asian / Korean show that's, I think, ever really made it massive in Western culture. I think that for that it is just incredible on its own. The story writing was really good. It was unlike anything I'd seen before. The only thing I can sort of link it to in my head was like it was sort of similar to the Hunger Games in the way that it was like, you know, dystopian, there's only going to be one winner, fight to survive kind of thing. Loved it, was addicted to it. It was quite gruesome, quite gory, and I don't think I need to recommend it to a friend because I think literally everybody's seen it. Oh yeah, pretty iconic, pretty big film this year. No Time to Die. Controversial. I just don't really love James Bond. I spend a lot of time, and I've seen a few of them, just watching it thinking he'd be dead by now. He'd be dead by now. Like, he simply would have died. However, it was good. It was upsetting at the end. Daniel Craig's a great actor. It was a movement, and I feel like purely because it was like 2 years delayed as well, the hype for it was just like, wow. Of the Bond films, it was probably my favourite of the like 4 that I've seen. Would recommend, but again, I'm pretty sure most people have seen it. Bodyguard, oh my gosh, right. Blitzed through this with Tom in about 3 days. Loved it, absolutely loved it. I think they paired the actors together so well in this, like the chemistry between them. I said this already, but I really like her. I think she's incredible. Storyline was really interesting, really different. I liked it. In fact, I'm gonna put it in the top. I'm gonna put it in 10 out of 10 Queen shit. That was one of my favourite things I've watched this year. One of you guys recommended me that as well, so thank you. Oh, Maid, okay. This is Margaret Qualley, okay. This is the same actress that was in that film, My New York Year. Maid does something really different to any show I've seen before. It is like a social commentary on people living, I was gonna say on the breadline, it's not even on the breadline, below the breadline of poverty. It's focusing on her story of how she is literally struggling to survive and provide for her and her daughter after having left her abusive boyfriend, and how, you know, the world kind of just shuts her out, and like how difficult it is, and every single time you think she's gonna get back up on her feet, something else happens, and it's not plot driven, like there's not a huge plot going on. It really made me think. It just feels very real life. It feels very like this is so many people's reality, that actually this deserves more of a push. Like this platform could push this even more, because it really made me think. And I watched it over Christmas, and I do think maybe I still feel very like drawn to it because I watched it recently. Yeah, it was heartbreaking and really well told. She's an incredible actress. I've waffled about it a lot. I'm putting it in 10 out of 10 Queen shit because it did its job. It really made me think, and I think that everybody should watch it, to be honest. The Pembrokeshire Murders. Okay, this was also on ITV. I watched this because of what it says at the top, where it says from the producers of Line of Duty and Bodyguard, which is coincidentally, both of those are in my 10 out of 10 category. However, I could take it or leave it. I don't really remember it. I do remember that it was good. I knew the story of the Pembrokeshire murders already. Next, oh my gosh, this might deserve a category on its own. This one might be above the top category. It's a sin. This show, like, I don't have words. It was so phenomenally written, heartbreaking, eye-opening, but also really educational, really informative. Like, everybody just should watch it, and I think most people have watched it. I loved Ollie Alexander before this, but like, my respect for him after this. It's a story that people have heard of but actually don't know enough about at all, to the point where I watched this and I thought, I don't really know anything about this, and everything I do know has only come from films and TV shows. Like, where is the education on the AIDS crisis in our education system in this country? Like, it is just not there. It is so marginalised and pushed to the side that I think actually this show has educated me more than anything before that. Clearly, queen shit. Next. What's next? What's next? Oh, it's a sin again. It's so good it's in there twice. You, season 3. Oh, I've got mixed feelings on this show. It's so good, but I also think that there are elements of it that are just a bit too far-fetched. It's all kind of wrapped up in, like, you're meant to believe this could be real life, especially this series where they're living in, like, you know, suburban America. It's like dressed up as like, these are your next door neighbours. It could be real. But then when I'm watching it, I'm like, this just wouldn't happen. He would have been caught. Like, why are the police not on this? I don't know how he's got away with it for 4 seasons. However, putting that aside, yeah, Pam and Victoria in this are great. Why did I say that like they're my best friends? You know what I mean. It's going in 10 out of 10. I watched it in about 2 days. Oh, and it did have Taylor Swift Exile in the last episode, so, you know, 10 out of 10 just for that. Old. This is a movie that messed with my head, like, what was going on in this film. I was sat in the cinema and I was just like, I do not have a clue what the bloody hell is happening. And it was actually just quite dark in a really weird way. Like, it wasn't a dark film, like literally to look at. It was like set on a beach. It was like really nice. It was a script and a storyline I've never heard of before. Sort of low-key scared me. It was very weird. I just don't even know how to start describing it. I think, yeah, I would recommend to a friend if you like thrillers. It's different, it's weird. It didn't get great reviews in the box office. I didn't mind it. Outer Banks. I really like this show. And I'm sorry because I know loads of people didn't like it. I know that, like, I was the only one out of my friends that was watching this programme and that loved it. Like, literally the whole cast is so attractive, which I definitely think helps. They're also living my dream of, like, you know, island living, kind of just surfing and not really doing a lot. Like, that is literally my dream life. However, the plot is a little bit questionable, and again, I think we've probably all been killed about 8 times over. It's easy viewing. I think its target audience is probably a little bit younger than me. Like, not everything has to be like a mind-boggling game. I can't believe I've set that alongside It's a Sin and Made. 2 cultural moments and then Outer Banks. But I liked it. I liked it. It was really good. Okay, Jungle Cruise. I went to the cinema, I think. Did I? I don't remember this. I don't remember this at all, which is bizarre because this film is based on the Disney ride. So in Magic Kingdom, one of the oldest, most classic Walt Disney rides is the Jungle Cruise. Like I say, grew up with Disney, saw this film was coming out, I was like, oh wow, that's really interesting. They've like based the film on the ride. I just didn't love it. I don't remember it. I think that I love The Rock, pretty iconic, but I also think he's played the same role in like 4 Disney films, and I'm just blurring it in my head with Jumanji. I'm gonna put it in I Forgot That You Existed, because I simply forgot that you existed. I'm actually questioning if I even went to see it. Ooh, Angela Black. This was another ITV drama. I watch so many dramas that involve like murder, and actually this one was very dark, very dark. It was like domestic abuse, mental health. It was heavy, but it was really good. I think that I would recommend it, and it did get a lot of talk and a lot of advertising from ITV. Like, you could not go to London without seeing this on the tubes, on the buses. Like, this was everywhere. So I'm gonna, yeah, would recommend to a friend. That is probably one of ITV's best. Spider-Man No Way Home. I think it is a toss-up between which film stole 2021. Was it the new James Bond film, or was it the new Spider-Man film? Both of them were so heavily anticipated, so hyped up, so talked about. This film had it all. It had the love story, it had the action, it had the humour, it had elements of like real emotion where everybody in the cinema was crying. I don't even need to talk about that. Everybody bloody loved it. It's going in 10 out of 10 queen. Sorry, Benedict, you've lost your face there. yeah, I remember this. To All the Boys I've Loved Before, P.S. I Still Love You. Firstly, if you've got a title you film that, why are you making it? Like, you've made too many. I loved the first one in this series. It should have been a standalone film. It did not need a sequel. Not everything needs a sequel. Not everything needs 3. Netflix, by the way. Not everything needs 6 seasons either, Riverdale. I just, in my head, can't tell the difference between that and the kissing booth. Like, oh, was it where she was going to college? Or like, something to do with New York? Did she go to NYU? Did he go to NYU? Something to do with university. It's not the vibe. It wasn't good. I did not enjoy it. I'm sorry. When you look at this put together, it's like loads of dark, murder, black kind of like cover art. And then there's that, which is like yellow and blue. It just does not fit my genre. Look at the rest of them. It doesn't fit. Second to last one. Ooh, okay. Huge shift in tone from To All the Boys I've Loved Before. This was a documentary on 9/11, done really, really differently to any that I've watched before, and trust me, I have watched all of them. I genuinely don't think there is a documentary series online about the attack on the Twin Towers that I have not watched. Like, I studied 9/11 in school for like, I think literally about a year. Maybe it wasn't a year. Felt like a year. It was a long time. This documentary looked at it from a different angle, and that was kind of like, it's the events leading up to 9/11 and then also its impact on the world post 9/11, specifically looking at like the war in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan. I actually watched this on holiday. It's not your average poolside viewing, and I was at the same time reading A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini, and the stories linked together so well. Like, the book really complemented this documentary because it was like the same story really, and I think that I would recommend it to a friend. Like, I think you should watch it. Obviously it's not easy viewing, but I think you should watch it. Why have I saved this as a French cover art? Like, is that in French? Yeah, yeah, it is. Good. I watched it in English. This is White House Farm. I believe that it aired on telly and then got put onto Netflix. So I hadn't heard of it, but when I watched it, I actually had heard of the case. It's a true story. It is about a guy that basically murdered his whole family. Maybe I should watch some things that are a bit lighter. It didn't stand out in my head as like, you know, the best thing I've watched all year, but I do, yeah, it was good. I would say I could take or leave it. It wasn't the best true crime dramatization, but it wasn't bad. That's my finished list. I'm pretty happy with that. There's only 2 things in the bottom. I feel a bit sorry for them. I feel a bit bad. Let me know if you think I'm wrong with any of these, by the way. Obviously, it's so subjective. And also, like I say, there are quite a few things where I can't fully remember the plot. There's a variety of things going on here. We're crossing over a lot of genres, but predominantly it does look quite similar. To look at it, it's like, wow, babes, everything is dark. I enjoyed doing that. That was a weird and different way to spend my Friday afternoon. If you guys were looking for any recommendations, like I say, most of these are on Netflix. And if they're not, they're likely on ITV Hub, BBC. To be honest, I think that's most of them. Oh, I'll move back into the middle. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. Like I say, it is really different. I've never done anything like this, but I just thought it would be fun to look back on. And obviously, I watch a lot of stuff. Apparently that goes down including things I maybe have forgotten, and also all the YouTube that I watch. I do watch quite a lot of YouTube as well. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed it. Do give it a thumbs up if you have. Don't forget to subscribe down below. If you'd like more videos like this, there are definitely some other things I could do this for. I could rank books that I read last year. I don't think there were that many books actually. Definitely aiming to read more this year, but I thought whilst we're on TV and film recommendations, let me know the best thing you watched last year. If you've got any recommendations that aren't on my list that you think, Molly, you should add that in, let me know in the comments down below. But other than that, I will be back with my next video very, very soon. Bye!